everyone. So welcome back to another episode of the Hello Spring podcast. I hope you're all doing well because in today's episode, it's going to get a little bit magical because I'll be interviewing my good friend Claire, or you may know her as ClareWitchBaby on Twitch. But if you don't know who she is, Claire is a content creator who makes a variety of content on Twitch that happens to have one of the most magical and inclusive communities on the internet. She has a passion for creating content that will inspire other people, from her captivating content of The Sims, Stardew Valley, and spreading awareness for causes that she believes in, and so much more. And honestly, I think you all would definitely love ClareWitchBaby. She's one of the most nicest, kind-hearted people that I know on the internet that makes a variety of content that I know for sure you all will definitely enjoy. Especially, she's a little bit of a witch. She has magical powers, and trust me, when you're in her streams, you're going to have a very magical time. But anyway, all of her links will be down in the show notes below. But let's go ahead and hop into today's interview. Well, Claire, thank you so much for being on my podcast. I'm so happy that you're on here because I've been literally waiting for the longest time to ask you. But as you know, I have a very hard time asking for help. So I'm like,
oh my God.
It's like, I'm just so happy that you're on my podcast and I'm glad you said yes. And I hope your week is going great thus far.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. Literally, when that day you asked me, I think it was in my stream chat.
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke, first of all. I was like, there's no way the Spring Sims wants to have me on his podcast. And then when I got the email, I was like, this is real. This is a real thing that's happening. So thank you for having me. My week has been truly crazy. It has. It's just been one of those completely wackadoo, like roller coaster weeks. But I can't think of a better way to kick in the weekend than by hanging out with you for a couple of hours. Fun time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just so happy that I'm able to record podcasts with friends and chit chat with them because, you know, the panorama, the pastrami, we can't see each other in person. So might as well do a little podcast.
I keep thinking, like, when am I gonna get to hug a friend?
Right.
When am I gonna hug my friends again? I love my family and they're great, but I'm like, I need some variety in my human touch. You know, I just need some variety.
Right. I need some variety in my life. I need to see another person besides my parents, or, you know, a screen. It's like, I need to get out and go somewhere else.
Literally, you'll get a kick out of this. Right before I came to sit down at my computer, because before we start recording this, I was streaming on Twitch, and I realized, like, oh, I'm going to be sitting in front of my computer for like 7 hours.
Oh
I need to get some human touch. So I walked into my sister-in-law's room. She was like busy doing something else, but I was like, hey, can I just hug you right now? I just need some human touch before I go and sit in front of my computer for 7 hours. And she was like, yeah, sure. So I just had like a 2-minute hug with her. And then I was like, okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Well, that's nice, you know.
It was cute.
Well, would you like to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself? You know, this is your time to shine. Self-promo.
Oh my gosh. Self-promo time. No self-promo in this chat.
No.
Nothing would bring me more pleasure. Well, my name is Claire. You can find me online basically everywhere at Claire_witchbaby. I am by day a social media professional. I work in influencer management, but by night I am a streamer, a content creator online. I primarily play The Sims, but you know, you can also find me like posting nonsense on Twitter. I have been known to post a selfie on the Instagram.
Oh.
But yeah, primarily I know. I have been known. But yeah, I'm primarily just like a Sims lover on Twitch.
Nice. Well, I wanted to know because I've been following you for a very long time, but I was always wondering, why did you go with, you know, ClareWitchBaby? Like, do you like Hocus Pocus? Do you just love magic? Like,
well, okay. So the short answer is I've just always been ClareWitchBaby online, like from the days, I guess you're American, so maybe you didn't use MSN. You were like an AOL messenger guy.
I remember
but
MSN.
I was we're of the MSN generation. So I was an MSN kid, and I'm honestly like, I think I just read Witch Baby in honestly like some crappy young adult novel. I just read it somewhere, and then every screen name just became Clare Witch Baby. Concurrently, I always had a fascination with the occult, kind of in my spiritual journey. There was a long period when I was a teenager. I think, between the ages of like 13 to 20, I practiced Wicca actively. My mom is a staunch Catholic, but weirdly has a perspective of all rivers lead to the ocean in terms of her own spirituality. So she was like, yeah, like do it as long as you're not like, in her mind she was like, as long as you're not like worshiping the devil, like I'm kind of down for you to do whatever. And so she was very open to letting me practice that way, and so it just became a part of my identity. And of course I do love Hocus Pocus, but actually my favorite witchy movie is Practical Magic. Have you ever seen it?
No, I've actually never seen it. What is it about?
Oh my God, it's so good. Okay, so it's a movie. It's Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman play these sisters who are witches, and they come from this long line of witches who are both sets of sisters who are witches, and they have this curse on them basically where like anytime they find their one true love, he is doomed to die. And so the whole movie is about all of them going through these hijinks and ultimately like breaking the curse. I promise that's not a spoiler because so much more happens in the movie, but it's a great movie. You have to like sit down, find it on Amazon and watch it like this weekend. It's so good.
Okay. Good thing I have Amazon Prime so I can watch it while I, chill and edit some videos.
Oh, yeah. Highly recommend.
Oh, that's good. I always love a good movie recommendation because I need some more stuff after, catching up with Grey's Anatomy. I got to get something new.
Are you you're just now getting into Grey's Anatomy, or have you always been into Grey's Anatomy?
Oh, I've been into Grey's Anatomy, but I've never watched it fully. Like it took me and my parents 5-ish months to watch all of 16 seasons on Netflix to watch the new episodes of season 17 on Hulu. So we're all caught up now, but it's like I need something else to sustain my entertainment.
Oh, yeah. I feel that. Yeah, Grey's Anatomy is a great show to just binge. There's so much of it. It's like the never-ending show. Yeah.
I hear that it's going to end at season 17.
Oh, no. RIP.
Yeah.
So sad.
Funny thing is that the showrunner, asks Ellen Pompeo, it's like, so, we're going to run this course, see how long we can go. But basically, she said, if Ellen Pompeo's done, I'm done too. Like, if she quits, I quit.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I guess the show can't really function without Meredith.
No,
it can't function without Meredith Grey.
It's literally about her life.
I know.
No spoilers, but it's a constant drama, sadness, disappointment, hating everybody. It's a roller coaster of emotions. I've learned not to trust anybody in that show.
Oh, no. 100%. I'm not caught up, but I do love the show, and you can't get too attached to any of the characters.
Oh no.
The flip side of it, what I'm really invested my TV show right now is The Walking Dead, and I know I'm also a decade late to that show, but I'm obsessed with it, and it's the same thing, but obviously it's a very different show. I'm sure your listeners know it's about zombies.
Oh yeah.
But you just can't get too attached to any of the characters because as soon as you fall in love with someone, they're like, you know what? We're getting rid of him.
It's like, well, thanks for that. I guess so. I'm probably not. I'm just going to leave the show now.
I know. Thanks for the heartbreak.
I stopped watching the show after Negan came on, but I might give it another go. I don't know. Yeah,
so I'm actually I guess a season and a half after Negan came on, and Negan's not my favorite, but he does change. His villainy. I find him as a villain a little bit two dimensional personally, but it gets better. I promise.
Oh yeah, I'll give it another go. I'm replaying the Walking Dead video game right now because. Why not? Ooh. But I should probably get into the show again just because nostalgia.
I've been so dying to try that video game. It looks so fun.
It is the best game I've ever played. It's, it makes your emotions just go skyrocketing, and it's so good. The storyline's amazing. Telltale Games makes amazing games, and even though they're no longer a business anymore, I highly recommend you go check out The Walking Dead. It's so good. You'll get attached very easily and then cry.
Okay. Oh no. Yeah, I literally, you can't see me, but when you said it was the best video game, my mouth was literally agape. I was shocked that you were saying that The Walking Dead was the best video game, because I've heard it's really good, but it's just I have to try it. I have to try it. I know.
I own them all, and I've played every single last one of them at least 4 times.
4 times? Holy crap.
Well, yeah, because like there's different like pathways of like, endings, and like I want to see what all the outcomes will be like.
Oh, it's one of those video games. Oh,
yeah.
Sick.
It's a story-driven adventure narrative game. So where the choices that you make alter as you progress onto the game. So
okay, that's very exciting. I have to give that a go.
It's definitely worth it. So what is your zodiac sign?
What is my zodiac sign? I am a Taurus, Gemini rising, Scorpio moon, and I would say that it's an extreme. That's very accurate for me.
See, I don't even know what like my moon rising or sun rising or whatever. I don't know what that is. I just know that I'm a Pisces.
Yeah. See, I didn't know what any of that was until honestly like a couple of years ago. I forget. You can find it online, like what the rising and the moon and the blatey burp. You can find all that stuff, like what it means online. But basically, the conglomerate of those 3 things for me means that like, okay, my baseline is I'm a Taurus. I'm super stubborn but very loyal. But the Gemini part of it means that I can come across potentially a little like two-faced, which I think for me means that I can see that manifesting in my life, and that I always try to put on like a positive face, even if I am personally like, if I'm talking to somebody I don't like, for example, I'm always just still trying to be positive. Like I'm someone who very rarely likes to have conflict. So anytime I'm in a situation where like conflict is arising, or maybe an uncomfortable conversation is due, I can very rarely just be like, hey, I need to have this conversation. I have to like, I'm that person that sandwiches criticism between 2 compliments, Yeah. So I think that's how the Gemini portion manifests. And then the Scorpio portion means that like underneath all of this like positive veneer, I can hold a grudge. Like I'm that person where like I can be, if something happens, I'll still be super nice to you. I would help anyone, but I forgive but don't forget. I think that's what the Scorpio is. It's like, okay, like we can be cool, but
watch out.
I don't forget anything. I'm like an elephant. I don't forget. But yeah, I think that's why I'm really suited for PR, because I'm just like a cheerful person.
Yeah, I can see it. It's like I was reading that it was like Taurus, like there are positive and negative traits. Like they don't shy away from hard work. They value honesty above all else. They love their sustainability and find comfort in consistency.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. I'm a creature of habit. I hate change. I hate change. Even good change, any kind of change, I get really panicky. But yeah, that all sounds very accurate.
Change is scary, but also
so scary.
The other negative one is like Taurus can take their pleasure-seeking ways too far, and they're not fond of authority and might challenge a teacher or a professor who believe is wrong about something, or just wasting their time, honestly.
Oh yeah. That rings very true. Like I dislike authority in a very serious way. I think I've always had trouble working in environments where I'm being like micromanaged. I really push back against any kind of micromanagement. But what was the other one you said, that you take the pleasure seeking too seriously? That is 100% also true. I feel it coming to life a lot when I have to exercise. I don't know what your workout routines are like, but I hate working out. I hate it, and I know I need to do it because I don't know if you know, I'm about to turn 30, the big 30, and that's an age where like you really got to start like
pick up the
being
pace.
a healthy. Yeah, you have to start being like a healthy person and looking after your body, and I just can't stand it. I'm just like, no, why? I could play Stardew. I could pretend to farm.
I'm too lazy to work out. I haven't gone to a gym in like 3 years, so you're not the only one. It's a lot of work.
It's not worth it.
I'll just watch my Sims work out. That's good enough for me.
Me too. I'll send my Sims on a cheeky run. They can work hard for me. Yeah. I don't need to do it.
You're working your fingers. That's exercise enough. Clicking.
I know.
Yelling at your Sims. That's like a lot of effort. So
agreed. I'm exercising my mind.
Yes.
You know, the brain is a muscle.
Yeah.
You know,
thinking constantly.
Exactly. I'm not good at I'm not good at watching my food. Like I'm someone who I've never been on a diet in my life because like food is pleasure. Like if your food isn't giving you pleasure, like what's the point in eating? I'd rather starve.
Why is that me?
We got to when all this panorama is over, we'll meet up and we can go and have a lovely meal together.
Yes, I agree. I'm ready to I'm getting my second vaccine in soon in a couple of weeks, so I can start traveling to places again.
Oh my gosh. Mazel tov. That's so exciting.
I'm so excited. Honestly.
Make sure you take the next day off though, because I've heard after the second one, that's when you start to feel a bit poorly.
Oh yeah. The first one, I don't know what it is. I am constantly tired and not eating. And so, or eating very little. And so I'm just canceling stream after stream because I'm so tired. I can't keep up. I can't keep awake. Because literally the first day was April 1st was the kickoff of the charity stream. And then the next day I went to the chiropractor and then got my first dose. And then it was a 13-hour stream that Thursday. So my body was catching up with me. And I didn't get much rest because I had to get up at I think 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Oh, God.
And I didn't go to bed until 2. So
yeah, you deserve a little rest.
I'm constantly tired.
I know. I feel like that's the streamer mantra. How are you? Tired. I'm tired. I don't get enough vitamin D. I'm spending all my time staring at a screen. I'm tired.
Same. So I did want to ask you, since we're on the topic, how has your 2021 gone thus far? Because honestly, 2021, we're already in April, and by the time this episode airs, it's going to be the end of April. So I'm where has the time gone? How has it been lately?
Oh my God. I honestly can't believe we're already in April of 2021. I can't believe it. The time goes so quickly. Which makes it hard to answer that question. How's my 2021 going? Fine.
I haven't gone anywhere, so.
I haven't gone anywhere. That's the thing. It's what's different about my life? In a lot of ways, everything, right? Yeah. I don't know if your listeners are aware, I've only been streaming for about a year or so. And so streaming has become this huge part of my life in a way I never thought. So in that sense, it's been completely different, because if you'd asked me in January of 2020, where I thought I would be in January of 2021, where I am right now would never cross my mind. So, and in that sense, it's really different. But in the sense of the day to day, it just feels a little bit like Groundhog Day, doesn't it? Because all of us in the States, we're still living in this, we're basically still stuck at home. The panorama is still in full swing, even with people going and getting their vaccines now, which is amazing.
Yes.
But it's been a little bit the same. I basically work 7 days a week, so I don't really get a chance to take a break because I have 2 jobs. So it's just putting one foot in front of the other. So 2021 everything has changed, but in a way, nothing has changed.
yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Things have changed a lot for me as well. Well, it's changed, but not changed. From last year, this time last year, April, I was getting ready to graduate the next month. So I was and I was contemplating life. I almost had a quarter life crisis. I was 24 back then, but I was thinking where am I going to go? What am I going to do? How am I going to get a job? Where am I going to live? I was thinking all these different things because once you graduate college, I'm I need a job. I need insurance. I need all these different things. But back then I didn't really have any money. I had money, but it's not a substantial amount of money where I could rely on to live. And I was so nervous of what to expect. And I thought I was going to have a heart attack of being overwhelmed and applying for jobs and getting my resume done and getting all my portfolio done. Because I went to school for UI and UX design. So I could get any job I ever wanted, but it's just so hard.
I used to work at a UX UI design agency.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is hard. That phase of your life is a really tough one. When you get out of college and you haven't got that first job yet, I would say that's the hardest phase. And I totally get where you're coming from. I earlier this time last year, 2020, I had actually just left a job. So I had left a job in November of 2019 with the idea of taking 3-month or 4-month sabbatical because I was like, I had been in the creative agency world for a long time, and that's a real hard slog. And I was like, okay, I just need to reset and figure out what I want to do with my life. I'll take 4 months off. I was luckily in a position where I could do that, without it being a huge suck on my finances. And I thought, you know what, I'll just live on savings for a while, but it's okay because I'll just get another job in a few months because I'm very lucky that there's always agencies looking for my kind of work.
True.
But then the pandemic hit, and it sent me into that same tailspin that you were describing. I was like, holy moly, when am I going to be able to get a job? Like, I ended up being unemployed for much longer than I thought because of the pandemic. And it sent me into a huge tailspin. I was very lucky that I ended up getting a job, but I was also very lucky that I found streaming in that time as well, because I don't think I would have survived without streaming, honestly.
I wouldn't think, streaming has definitely been the best thing I've ever done. Because at the end of when I graduated, I'm like, you know what? I think it was around maybe June, probably May. I don't know. Probably June. I'm going to say June. Was the time then you know what? I'm done. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. I'm just going to stop job searching and quit it all and just work for myself and go hard in the paint of YouTube, Twitch, podcasts, store, everything, and make my own money because I don't have the time nor the effort nor the energy I can help other people, but it's I don't want to,
Yeah. And you've been crushing it. How amazing that you took that leap, because look at you now, you little media mogul powerhouse.
The funny thing is I made more money I did this year than last year.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Get that coin.
It's crazy. I mean, ever since the show, The Sims Spark, that was life-changing. And now I'm
my goodness me.
It's great. Now I can work for myself. I have my own LLC and everything.
Look at you, fully fledged business owner. That's so exciting. You should be so proud of yourself. It's a very I think we're so used to being around content creators who do this, for a living, and so it feels very normal. But let me be the one to tell you that it is very brave to go out on your own and take that leap of faith and put all that faith in yourself. That's a very brave thing to do. And you should be really proud of yourself. I hope you are.
Oh, I am. Because honestly, I've always wanted to work for myself. I'm a goal setter, and I don't know if you are, but I've always set goals for myself where I wanted to achieve these things at a certain age. I wanted to be debt free before I graduated college, did that. I wanted to, work for myself. Doing that now. I wanted to go to Carnegie Hall. I did that when I was 18.
Wow.
And now I'm I already have all my goals already met. And now I just want to have a house before I'm 30. And then I'm good to go. I'm set for life.
That's so exciting. Look at you. Yeah, I'm also a goal setter. I'm someone who's extremely goal oriented. If there's no clear, I know this is such a boring business term, but if there's no clear ROI for me, aka return on investment, I don't do it. If there is not a clear return on my time or money that I'm spending, I'm not interested. So I'm a big goal setter. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, because I'm I need to have some ROI on my end. Is this going to be beneficial for me in the long term? How's it going to play out? So
100%. I'm right there with you. If I'm very big on setting clear benchmarked goals and then going back and saying, okay, did I hit that goal? Why didn't I hit it? What can I do next time? I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So what was, I always ask my guests this all the time. What was your first impression of me?
Oh my goodness. My first impression of you is that you are such a sweetheart. You're just so clearly someone who's so motivated by joy, and by not just spreading joy, but doing something that brings you joy and that is inherently joyful. And I think I relate to that because I'm kind of the same. Like I'm someone who is very rooted in play. And it's so clear that, at least to me, that you're motivated by that same thing. You just want to pursue joy. And I find that so infectious. And then I think the second thing is just like the quality of your voice is so soothing. It's like this soft purr. It's so calming. And I just love having, whether it's your stream up or a YouTube video, I love having like listening to your voice in the background of my day because it's just so calming.
Really?
That's why it's perfect. Yes, you've got such a lovely voice.
Oh, thank you. People tell me that all the time. Like, I think my voice is actually very annoying sometimes.
No, you've got a lovely voice.
I guess because I listen to it all the time on my YouTube videos. I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want to listen to this back ever again.
Well, no one likes listening to the sound of their own voice. Truthfully, everybody hates it.
That's true. I feel like I'm a child going through puberty half of the time. So I'm like, oh gosh, somebody send help. Let me just change my voice.
Send help right now. No, you have a great voice. It's great.
Thank you. I've done a lot of vocal training over the years of doing choir and show choir. So I feel like I've stopped that now because I've realized it's a lot of work and I don't have time no more singing for me. I'll just scream my lungs out on my own time. But I think that it's just like, vocal rest. I got to calm down. And I guess over the years of like doing YouTube and Twitch, I've learned to like be more calm and chill. Just like just to relax more. But YouTube's a whole other thing. I don't know what it is. It's just like I get this burst of energy to talk really, really fast for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, it definitely takes a toll just on your voice in general, like just speaking for that long. Yeah. I'm not a singer by any stretch of the imagination, but I was an actor in a past life. Ooh. And so I did all those same, the vocal warm-ups and the vocal training. Like I think a lot of it's rooted in the same thing for singing and acting. Yeah. And so I'm not a novice in terms of like understanding how to take care of your voice. But I remember when I first started streaming and I was talking for, like 4 hours straight or 5 hours straight, I would finish my stream and be like, wow, my throat really hurts. Like you really have to train your voice to be able to talk for that long. It's definitely a skill.
It is definitely very much a skill, especially if we're doing like 24-hour, 12-hour streams. It's definitely a lot.
Yes. Have you ever done a 24-hour stream?
I actually have never done it. I don't plan to. No one can force me to do it. I will not do it.
Dude, me either. That's craziness. That's foolery.
I couldn't do it. I mean, I've seen people who've done it before in the past, like Dr. Gluon. He's more of a pro than I am. I don't know how he does it, but he does it every year. Like he does
every year. Holy crap.
Yeah, like towards like the countdown to midnight to the new year. He does like a celebratory midnight New Year celebration for every single time zone. So it's crazy. So it's like 24, 25 hours the entire time. So I'm like, you, my friend, are a pro. I cannot do that. My body can't handle that. I'm too much of a weakling. No.
Yeah, no, you could never. No milestone or sub goal or anything could force me to do a 24-hour stream. I'd rather cut my own arm off and eat it.
Oh my gosh. I'm just too nervous because I'm like, I can't do it. It's too much. My body.
It's not good for you. It's not good for you. I mean, honestly, props to the streamers that do it. And Gluon is like truly, Doc is just, I mean, he's an icon, right? Like he's just an icon in this community. I have so much respect for him.
Me too.
But I'm not that strong. I'm not that strong. I could never.
I haven't gone to the point of my streaming career to even get to a 24-hour stream. The most I've done is 13 hours.
That's a lot though.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I mean,
that's a long time.
We tend to go overtime anyway, just because one time my stream community made me cry because reading letters, and then 12-hour stream, you get very delirious after like towards the end. You just lose track of time. You just don't even know what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done a couple 12 hours. I think I've done 3 at this point. And it's always around the 8-hour mark that I start to get tired. It's like I don't run marathons, clearly, but I think they say like mile 20 or mile 19 or whatever is when you start to get really tired on a marathon.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it's like for streaming. Like that's when I get really tired, like 8 hours. I'm like, oh my God. And then I start to pick up steam again at like at hour 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I take like breaks every hour, 2 hours. And then I just like, okay, I'm good. I can go for another 6-10 hours, see how far I can go. But like, it's key to always take breaks because honestly, if you don't take breaks, you're going to lose your mind.
Oh, 100%.
It's crazy. When did you start streaming? Like you say, you started streaming like last year, but like when exactly?
So I started, I think the exact date is February 27th. And yeah.
That's actually like a couple of days after my birthday.
Oh my gosh. I just missed your birthday. But yeah, I started streaming February 27th and it was, I think I mentioned or alluded to it a little bit earlier. I had left a job and was in a real state of distress, honestly. I was scared about how long I was going to be unemployed and was spending a lot of time alone because it was the beginning of the panorama. And I don't know if you can remember this, but when it was all first starting to kick off in like February, May, there was a lot of fear, right? Everyone was so scared because we didn't know how it transmitted. We didn't really know what all the symptoms were. I live in New York, in a very busy neighborhood. So I was scared to leave my house. And so I was just spending all my time inside by myself. And one of my friends actually had just started streaming like the week or two before. And they were loving it. And I had heard people talking about Twitch. I had been on Twitch as a viewer for a few years already. I had joined Twitch a few years before to follow Jenna Marbles on Twitch, and now she's off the internet. But and it's just her boyfriend who's on Twitch now, and I still watch them. I think at my last count, I'm a 29-month subscriber to that channel.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, so I had been on Twitch as a viewer, and honestly, it was like truly a moment of despair. Like that day that I started streaming, I had a complete meltdown, like on the floor, completely like in tears, like scream crying because I was like, what am I going to do? Like, if this pandemic goes on and if I don't find a job, am I just going to spend all my time alone in the house with no money? Like, what am I going to do? And then truly just out of desperation, I was like, you know what? I'm already playing The Sims for like 5 hours a day anyway. I might as well just start streaming it. And then that same day, I just opened my laptop, like within 20 minutes, had like OBS downloaded. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but like, let's do it. And was live like 20 minutes later. Like, is this thing on? There was no thought. It was like empty head, no thoughts. I was just like, I just need something to put my energy into because the other option is despair. Like, I know that's a sad story, but it's true.
Oh, no, it's not. It's like, it's real and it's honest. And like, I like that, honestly. Because like last year, I had 2 jobs. Like I was still in school. I had 2 jobs. I was doing YouTube and I was streaming. So like I had 5 jobs in one. God. And all I knew, it was like that February, nothing was happening. The show, I just wrapped up filming the show like late 2019 and everything. And all I know is that I get an email saying, oh, we're gonna have to close down for a little bit. And I'm like, for what? I checked the news and like, oh, well then, seems like we're on lockdown. Great. But like, it was so weird. Like we didn't know what to expect, what was going to happen. I was so scared because like, I still don't have health insurance. So I thought I was going to literally die.
Gosh. Yeah. Neither did I. I didn't have health insurance. I was like, if I get sick, I could be screwed. Like,
yeah. Or paying out of pocket, which is even worse.
Yeah, it was a scary time. That was a really scary time.
Yeah, at least now things are like more under control than they were last year. And it feels more, I guess, stable. Yeah. In a way. So I don't have like that sudden like anxiety like I did before. So it feels good to know that. Like I also like having people like around you that care for you and are like minded and streaming and YouTube. It feels good to know that you can rely on those people to talk to about literally anything and where they can relate to each other. So
yeah, having a community is so important. Not just obviously like a community of people who watch your stream, but having peers that you can turn to and ask for help, kind of like colleagues, that you can just turn to and be like, hey, let me just ask you something right quick, or can I run something by you right quick? I think we're very lucky that, I would say, for the most part, our community is extremely supportive, and we're happy to help each other. I think that's very unique.
Yeah, I agree, because I feel like it's much better to have that than some horrible thing in the world happening, or some horrible person always talking you down.
But 100%. 100%.
I'm so grateful for like the Sims community, my community. It just feels good to know that they are there, Oh,
100%. Like, if I feel the same way about like the Sims community. Like, I pinch myself that I now get to be friends with people who I've looked up to for so long. Because even though I only started streaming last year, like I feel so grateful that all the people that I've looked up to for so long are now my friends. Like, I can't believe that I'm now get to just like be in group chats with some people that I've been admiring and been like true fans of for years. I think that speaks to the generosity of this community, right? Like there's of course, I'm sure, like friendly competition between people, which is fine. Mm-hmm. I mean, luckily I'm not a competitive person, so that I just ignore that. But for the most part, people are welcoming and open and want to help you. And if people hadn't helped me, I would not have a community. If people hadn't said like, yes, we will give you this space, we'll you can have a small space of this, I wouldn't have anything. So we're very, very lucky.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely grown over the years. Like, for streaming wise, like I think before it was just regular YouTube. Of course, people were streaming Sims, but not a lot of people knew about it. Mm-hmm. Streaming wise, just more like pre-recorded. But I feel like it's grown so much in the last year and a half on Twitch, so much. And it's nice to know that there are like-minded people who stream The Sims or other like similar games like Stardew or Minecraft or whatever. And we're all like friends now, or like acquaintances for the most part. And it's nice to have like the sense of, like you said, community.
Yeah, and the camaraderie, it's nice to have that camaraderie, especially in this panorama, just having like-minded people to hang out with, honestly, is huge.
It is. So like, what led you down the path for like streaming just The Sims?
Honestly, it's I've just been a lifelong simmer. I've been playing The Sims since The Sims 1 and played every franchise. I didn't always have every expansion, but I played every franchise of The Sims. It is a game that I've always turned to. Of course, I've played other games like just in my periphery. I've had most of the consoles. I'm a big Crash Bandicoot kid.
Oh my gosh,
I love Crash Bandicoot. But The Sims was just always my go-to. I think I discovered it at a really young age. I think the first time I played The Sims, I was 9 or 8. I'm aging myself, but I was 9 in single digits, and I just immediately fell in love with this platform that allowed you to create either like a complete fantasy world. Like, I remember Making Magic was my favorite pack. I remember the impact Making Magic had on just my imagination and how fun the gameplay was. But it was also, one of the first games where I was able to create myself. So, I'm mixed. I'm half Indian. I'm half white. And, back when we were kids, like, diversity wasn't the priority that it is now in media. And so there were just so few games where I could create a main character that looked like me or did things I wanted to do. And so I just fell deep into that because that was huge. And I know that the original question was, why did you decide to stream The Sims? But honestly, it's just a lifelong love affair with the game.
Yeah, same. I'm the same way. I started back in like 2000. I was only 4 years old. So like I had no idea what I was doing at all. Like no clue. I just played just for fun. And then Sims 2 happened. Then I actually knew what was going on because I was like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So it was much easier to understand the life simulation part where babies come from and children.
Yeah.
It was just a whirlwind of events back then, honestly. Let's be real here.
Let's be real. No, this game has been the backbone, I feel like, of so many of our childhoods, honestly.
Yeah, I use it to escape reality because reality is crazy. I've been going through some stuff a lot in my past. So Sims is like the one game that made me feel like happy, where I could create myself or create other people or make houses or like explore new like genres of playing styles that I couldn't do before and make my own reality in a video game.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And, you know, I think my favorite thing about The Sims is that I've been playing this game for like 20 years now, and I still learn things about the game every day. I just feel like it's one of these games that feels so expansive because there's so much you can do. Like before I started streaming, I was not a builder. I only did gameplay. I only did story-driven gameplay and would just download builds like from the gallery or use the EA builds, which we all know are like pretty, they leave a lot to be desired, we'll say.
Yes.
And it wasn't until I started streaming and saw other amazing builders and saw what was possible with building that I was like, wait, you can do that? You can do that? And that's what got me. Now I would call myself primarily a builder, but that didn't start until I started streaming it because you learn so much from other people and you just get so inspired by other people. So it's just this so expansive. I feel like I'm never going to get bored of this game.
No, I also think that with The Sims is that people say it's a boring game, mainly The Sims 4. I don't agree with that, honestly. You know, agree to disagree. But I feel like with The Sims, it has definitely changed a lot where we've gotten things from like the past in the new recent ones, or we just haven't gotten at all. But I think that with The Sims, it's like once you buy the game, it's your game. You design it, you create however you want, make it fun for you. Because ultimately, if you are not having fun, then it's like, what's the point? But I think if you don't see something within the game, create it yourself. Because that's the only way. Like, there are so many people out there, like, for example, like Xmira Mira. She couldn't see herself within the game, so she created skin tones to see herself within the game that she loved for so long to help her inspire, not like herself, but other people. And it's become a worldwide thing where now we have skin tones ranging from like literally to the whitest of white to the darkest of dark. And it's so nice to see the true representation of people within a game that's been around for so long. I don't know. It's just so good to see like 100%. The realness of The Sims.
100%. And, you know, even like obviously Mira is such a powerhouse and really a thought leader in our gaming space, and has just by being so innovative and wanting to make true representation in the game has brought the game leaps and bounds forward. And it just, you know, to make that step of trying, you know, I can think of so many people that would have that experience of like, oh, I don't see myself, and just accept it. But I think the fact that Mira really took that step shows her true love affair for this game. You know, that she would then take all that extra effort to make sure that not only she could see herself, but so many others could see themselves. I think that speaks, of course, yes, it intrinsically speaks to like a gap and a white space in the game, but it speaks to her love for the game, that she wanted to fill that and that she wanted to create that. I think that's huge.
I think it is very huge. And I'm just like, yes, finally, I'm so happy. I'm honestly very happy that the game has definitely improved over the years, because 2000 was a time. 2004 was also an interesting time for fashion. Sims 3, we don't talk about that because I feel like that's just more of a current thing where it makes sense. But Sims 2, Sims 1 was a trip.
Oh,
fashion, the personalities, the turn on, turn off, like that. Stuff back then we don't talk about now because that stuff would have been very offensive to a lot of people.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like you can't get away with the stuff that they were putting in the game before now, and you know a lot of that's for the better.
Yeah, but we thank Will Wright for paving the way for the people.
Yes.
Honestly. One of these days, I want to have him on my podcast because it'd be so good.
Oh my gosh, you have to. You have to set a goal. You're a goal setter. Set a goal, Stephen.
Oh, I have that. I'm writing out the plan as we speak because I'm prepared to send a long list, all the stats of my podcast analytics. Like, here you go. Here's your agent. They can look at all this stuff to see that my podcast is actually worth being on. And I'm a simmer. My job is a Sims. You gave me a job, basically. So, should be on my podcast.
I love that.
I did want to say that with Twitch, there have been, in streaming Sims, there has been a lots of ups and downs and everything. And I know that back then, a few months ago, I would say, that you were partner pushing. Mm-hmm. And this is the one thing that I don't necessarily hate. It's just like a weird term now. Like, I did it and I feel weird seeing it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's a very weird term, but I think when you stream Sims for so long and it's like your main thing and your partner pushing, it can be very mentally draining over time because you're focusing a lot on like the numbers and, what's good, what's not good, what's more engaging, what should I do during this stream when I stream Sims, or do I just stream Sims solely and nothing else for the sake of the numbers, or should I do what I want and just have fun with it? Like, what were your struggles during all of that? Because we've all been going through it in some similar way.
Absolutely. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, partner pushing is a very weird phase to go through as a creator because it feels so transactional, right? And I think anyone who does any kind of content creation over a long period of time knows that it's not, if you're someone who's just focusing on your view count, you're not going to get any views. Like, if you're someone who is stream one day, maybe you get 100 views, the next time you get 50. That can certainly be demoralizing, but if it's all you're thinking about, it's not going to help you. And when I was partner pushing, I think, first of all, I've just always been continuously surprised that anyone wants to watch my stream, right? Like, if I go, and I know this is such a cliche, it's going to sound like a cliche, but I promise I don't mean it to. But every time I go live, when one person comes into my stream, it's still a surprise. I'm always like, crap, there's somebody here. What? There's people in the chat. What the heck? So I think when I started partner pushing, that was always kind of the backbone. Like, hey, if people come, sick. If they don't, there's no end to this quote unquote push. And I would say that the first time I did it was really just trying it on for size, like trying on a new pair of jeans. I was like, okay, my numbers are almost there. Let's just see if when you give people the option to know the goal you're trying to get for, hey, I want to be able to get a certain amount of average viewership so that I can apply for partner or whatever it is. It was like an experiment to see hey, if I let people in on this goal, is that going to make a difference? And of course it did, right? Because it comes back to something we were talking about earlier about asking for help, right? If you don't ask for help, no one's going to know that you need it and no one's going to know that you want something. And so I think there's a lot of value in partner pushing because it lets your community know that you're all fighting for a collective goal, right? Which is very valuable in terms of galvanizing a group of people to come together for something. And, in social media land, I'm a social media professional. That's all we call that the call to action, right? Everything you post online's got to have a call to action. So by giving people a strong call to action, of course, it helps you. But as anyone who's done a partner push knows, those first few times you likely don't get partner, right? There are some amazing creators who get it the first time around, and that's great. I was not one of them. I had to apply.
Neither was I.
Right. And I had to apply 3 times before I got it. And so obviously that rejection is certainly draining. But I think if you can get in a mindset of when you're looking at your metrics, for example, because I think a lot of people find it very demoralizing if they are pushing for partner or they're trying to get partner and they have a stream that's below the requirements, which, the 75 viewer average, that can feel really demoralizing. Because we as creators sometimes put our own personal value into that number, right? If I don't get those views, it's a reflection on me. I'm a bad streamer. I didn't make content that was good enough. And I think I'm lucky that I started this having already had 6 years experience in the industry on the other side. And I think of metrics as a diagnostic. So, okay, it's just a diagnostic for me. They're just a gut check. So I'm someone who, I check my metrics relatively often, even now. I know a lot of streamers don't, but I do. Because to me, I'm like, this is a diagnostic. It's just a gut check to see where I'm at. It's got nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with my personal value. It's completely separate from who I am creatively. And I think if you can make that separation, a partner push becomes easier. Stop thinking about the numbers as a reflection of the value of your content, because it's not. You know, they have nothing to do with you.
That's very true. Yeah, I've learned that over the years as well. And I think a lot of people are still in that stage. It's like, is my content good enough? And I think what you said is very, very important to like take in with like a grain of salt, because people need to understand that numbers do not define who you are. Numbers are just simply numbers.
Exactly.
You have to make the content that you mostly enjoy. And if people are there, awesome. Don't really focus on the idea of like, oh, I'm going to gain all these viewers, all this money, all these subs, all like recognition just for doing one simple thing. Don't go into the idea of that.
Mm-hmm.
Go into the idea of like, I'm going to stream or I'm going to make videos. I want to have fun because I enjoy it. And if something comes along, awesome. But it's not my main goal. I want to be able to inspire and create content that is fun. And that's what I like about like your streams. And like when I first like came across like your stream, I think it was through Kayla or somebody, I have no idea. It's been a long time. But I think the one thing that's so cool about your streams and your community is that you're very inclusive, you're very honest, and you have so much knowledge because you have so much like history about like social media and influencing, and you know, just what you do is very, very just like nice to understand, and so good to like be a part of like that sense of experience. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you just have so much to offer, and it's nice to know that you can relate. And I am a social media like person as well. Like I don't know. I think when you're like going to like content creation, you're automatically like, you know, videographer, photographer, mm-hmm. editor, voice actor, and you're like a social media like community, like you're just doing all these different roles at once, and it's crazy.
And that's all true. The one thing I'll add to that list is that you have to be a marketer. And
yes,
and I almost believe that kind of like first and foremost, not while you're streaming. Like while you're streaming. You're just focusing on making great content and, you know, just having fun and letting your personality shine, right? Letting your craft shine. But I think the most important skill that content creators need to learn, and that always drives me crazy, which is why I spend so much time like trying to help people and consult. If you don't know, like I'm a social media consultant as well. And it's because so many amazing content creators, even though we're on these platforms every day, don't know how to like appropriately market themselves, because to so many people, understandably, it feels kind of icky, right? Like, I don't want to like self-promo or whatever. And it's like, if you aren't going to market yourself, like no one is going to. Like if you want to work with a certain brand, like you got to reach out to them. You got to tell them why you're amazing. If you don't have like a media kit, for example, that shows everything that you're doing and that introduces yourself, like no one's going to know how great you are. Like you wouldn't walk into a job interview without a resume. Right.
True.
And you want your resume to speak to show an employer the highlights of who you are. So my hope is that we as content creators, especially marginalized creators, can get better about championing ourselves by being a good marketer for yourself. That's really all you're doing when you put on your marketer hat. It's like, how am I championing myself? How am I letting other people who could hopefully help me like tell a more rich story or bring more opportunities to my community? How can I show them the best part of who I am? And I feel like that's something that I wish our content creator community could like do more. And I hopefully I can be helpful in that somehow.
Yeah. Because I mean, honestly, what I've always wanted to do is like help other people, because we have so much knowledge because we've been in this space for so long that I think with our help and our knowledge and our expertise, we could help other people like write a book or have a dedicated podcast. Like, I don't really know. Like, there's so many things that we could do, like a panel. Well, I don't know. I want to organize something like that one day.
But I mean, to your point, like that's something that I'm trying to work on as well. Like I would love to create like a series of course materials for social media for creators like us, but basically just like teach you how to get those skills, because it's not magic, right? The same way that making a stream isn't magic. It's like there are certain steps you do, you hone a craft, you learn a certain skill set, and becoming a great streamer is just harnessing that skill set. And honestly, becoming a good marketer is the same thing. It's just harnessing a skill set.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, Dr. Lupo or Pokemon, they didn't get to where they are just for, sake of luck. They worked. They did. They put in the hard work to get where they are today. So like people think, oh, I'm just going to stream. Got millions of views. Like, no. And it's got to work for that.
You got to work. And it's also investing your time really smartly, right? Like,
yes,
you probably know this, but the best streamers don't stream 24/7. They stream like maybe 4 days a week, 5 days a week, maybe 6 or 7. They do stream every day, but maybe they stream for like 3 hours. And the rest of the time during their quote unquote work day, and I'm sure you do the same thing, you're still working. You're just not streaming. You're marketing yourself, or you're working on some other assets, or you're working on another project. Like it's so constant, and there are so many other skill sets that I think contribute to success outside of just like turning your live on. I'm just rambling now, but as you can see, I'm very passionate about this.
No, I love that, because I think what's so good about this is that it's very helpful. But also the other thing too is that if you want to go into this quote unquote like social media influencer space, that you can't put your eggs all in one basket.
Nope. You got to diversify.
It's like if you want, like I was learning, what was this? I think it was Charlie D'Amelio or somebody. I don't know. I watch a lot of content. I like studying people. But I think that what she said is that you can't put your eggs all in one basket, where if you want to be successful or you want to reach a wider audience, you just can't be on one single platform. Like she's on TikTok, but she's on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, like every single platform that's out there, she is on. And she's got to where she is today because the team that she has, her parents, her sister, her relationships he had with brands, and like now Duncan. It's just like a worldwide thing where you have to invest in yourself first before other people invest in you.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. And diversifying is huge, but also you tapped into something very smart there, Stephen, which is she has a team of people that she is delegating work to that have the skills, like other skill sets to help, improve the content that she makes and improve her branding. So for example, like I just did a big rebrand recently on my own Twitch, right? I didn't do that myself. I had like 3 or 4 people help me with that over the course of 6 months, because I was like, you know what? If I tried to do this, it would look like total trash. Like, why not work with other people who can do a much better job? You, for example, you have an editor that helps you edit stuff so that you can use your time more smartly. Like, we don't have to do this all our own. Just because it's only our face on the stream or in your YouTube video doesn't mean you have to do it by yourself.
Exactly.
Delegation is huge.
Yes. Delegate, collaborate, understand these things.
Yes.
So I did want to say that with like social media, it can be very mentally draining. But like, what apps are you actively on?
So I'm obviously on Twitch. Love Twitch. I'm the most active on Twitch. Before I started streaming, I was most active on Instagram. So, I mean, if you scroll down into my Instagram, you'll see more like lifestyle content on there. And I actually had a bigger audience on Instagram first, and then started streaming on Twitch. And I actually started posting less on Instagram now, basically just because I don't have time. But I'm also active. I'm active on Twitter. I love Twitter. You'll see me like, sorry for the swear, but you'll see me posting on Twitter all the time. I had a YouTube channel for a while that was very short-lived. I used to post like vlogging content like 6-7 years ago. So if you want to go back and watch that, it's tragic, but it was fun. That was really where I started falling in love with content creation, was with video and shooting and editing videos. I still love editing videos to this day, but I no longer post on YouTube. I would love to start it back up again, but I just need to find the right time. It needs to be the right moment. But yeah, those are my most active. So Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. I use YouTube from the old days.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I'm active on like Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Instagram, I really don't post on there as much as I thought I would. Cause I mean, I'm running 3 Instagram accounts at once. I have like my main Sims one that's like just more lifestyle type of way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have my art one, and then I have my podcast one. So
your art
and then,
is
like,
beautiful, by the way. I love your art.
Thank you. I gotta get back into it. I haven't been making art a lot lately. I gotta just go hard in the paint once more. Market myself out there once.
Yes.
But also like YouTube, I'm managing 3 channels at once too.
Oh my goodness me. That's so much.
Yeah, I have like my vlog/podcast channel. Then I have my VOD channel where I re-upload my streams, which is really not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just make the description and thumbnail. Like that's also the hard work. But then I have like my main like gaming channel. So like that's a whole other thing. So I'm like doing so much because I don't want to put my eggs all in one basket and like diversify my content more and like reach a new audience that I haven't reached before, you know? So it's definitely a lot, but it's like social media is definitely advanced so much in like the past decade or so that like, you know, Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat, like I feel like Snapchat's dead now or something.
Yeah.
I feel like it is.
I'm not on Snapchat. I never cared about Snapchat, but that's just me.
It drains my phone, so I deleted the app, so I don't have it anymore. But it's like, it's weird because now Clubhouse is a thing, Fleets, Spaces. I'm like, almost every single social media app out there has a story. LinkedIn has a story. Soon TikTok, I heard somewhere down the line is going to have stories. Monetization is happening on Clubhouse. So it's so interesting on how evolved social media is and how effective it can be for so many different people that it's kind of hard to be on every single app at once. And I don't think you need to be.
No, you 100% don't. And like from my point of view, I have always looked at these social media apps as just tools for telling stories, right? It's just, they're just different ways for you to tell a story. And it doesn't matter if that's a brand story or you as like, if you're trying to be an influencer, like a personality story, or if you're someone who like makes like cartoons or animations or comics, you know, and you're using those platforms to tell a story through comics and arts or some kind of visual storytelling. And it's just about like which platforms are going to be the most useful for the story that you want to tell and which ones are going to give you the highest ROI. So for me, that's Twitch and Twitter right now give me the highest ROI in terms of my efficacy of storytelling. That's how I think about the metrics. Like which platforms are the most effective for me to tell my story? Right now, that's Twitch and Twitter because my storytelling is very intimate. It's very personality based. It's really about me just putting myself out there. And The Sims is kind of like the backdrop for just us having a good time. And that's why Instagram has sort of dropped off for me because my Instagram audience was much more interested in like what I was wearing and how I was looking and the pose. And like, if you scroll through my lifestyle content, you'll see it's very about the aesthetic. And at that time, that's what I was the most interested in. I was interested in creating an aesthetic that people would enjoy. But my story has changed, right? I'm in a different chapter now. That's how you can like easily pivot between app to app is like, once you find an app that is better helping you tell a story more effectively, you can put more energy into that, you know, and try things out and experiment. And I think it speaks to the conversation we were having about diversifying. You shouldn't put yourself out there everywhere just because there's some new app to be on. It's about like, well, what's going to help me tell my story effectively? And what am I going to have the most fun on? What's going to be the most dynamic for me? And that should, in my opinion, sort of lead where you put your energy into the apps because it's crazy. As you said, it's changing every day. There's a lot to choose from.
It's very overwhelming. That's why I deleted the Twitter app off of my phone because I would constantly be tweeting what's ever on my mind, and that's not a good thing.
No, it's not.
So I would spend my days kind of stepping away from Twitter, and I was looking at my analytics, and I'm like, oh wow, I don't post as much. Like on average, my tweets per month is like 230 to like 350. Like I don't tweet that much, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's probably a good thing for me because I think that the idea is that with social media, when you're on it for so long, you don't really know what's happening like in the world around you. Like you kind of lose a sense of self
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's so easy to just get sucked into the dopamine kick that you get from a like or from a retweet, or, you know, that really triggers a response in your brain that's addictive. That's why it's so easy to spend so much time scrolling on Twitter and liking other people's stuff. Even the haptics of when, I don't know if you know this, Twitter added, I think a year or so ago, a feature where when you like a tweet, a little like sparkle comes out of the heart.
I saw that, yeah.
And that like triggers a pleasure response in your brain. It's literally like addictive just to scroll through these apps. And they design it that way because they want to keep your attention so that they can feed you advertising.
Exactly.
So I think getting the app off your phone is super smart.
Yeah. I've realized I've been on Twitter since 2014 of November, and I've tweeted at least 53,000 times.
Oh my God. I don't know how many times I've tweeted. I have to like find this out. I'm going to text you after this and tell you how many times I've tweeted.
It's crazy. Like I tweet way too much. It's mainly about The Sims or like whatever's on my mind. But then like I look, when I've gotten more into the space of like streaming and like YouTube a little bit more, like about like a year or two ago, I've become more serious of like I wanting to grow myself. And I'm looking at my analytics and I'm like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? And then I do all this research. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like in the past like month or so, like last month, since you're a social media person, I don't think anyone else who's listening to this podcast is interested into what I'm saying. But literally, I've learned that tweeting, like this podcast, has been a true delight. And also, like, you know, just posting my Sims. Like, I've realized that when I post a screenshot of any of my Sims that I do, it does so well.
Yeah.
Because people like seeing the Sims at who I make, and it's nice to know like, oh, people like that stuff. Like last month, I had 1.11 million tweet impressions.
Wow! Oh my God! Look at you. That's
like
amazing.
It's crazy. Like I don't understand it because I'm like, oh, cool. But like on average, it's like 500,000 to like above. It's never below because I don't know.
That's amazing.
It's just
that's
sad. I guess the amount of like tweet and interact with people.
Yeah, that's a lot of impressions. You should be well chuffed.
I like it. I even asked somebody like, what's a good like, you know, engagement rate on Twitter? They say like, you know, like 2 to like 2% or 3%. Like, oh, I have that.
Yeah.
2%.
Yeah, that's
like,
solid.
It's pretty great. I've also like, I just gauge, see how it goes. Depends on what I'm tweeting. Like sometimes it's like 14 or sometimes it's 2 or like 1.7. It fluctuates and that's normal.
It's totally normal. And like luckily Twitter's an app where you can post a lot of volume. It's a volume centric app. So you could tweet like 6 times a day and it wouldn't matter. You know, like it's the half-life of a tweet is so short, like that you could tweet. It's like TikTok. The half-life of a TikTok, if it doesn't kick off and like go viral, is really short. So you can post a lot of content on apps like Twitter and TikTok because if it's dead, it's dead. It doesn't matter. And I'm just talking about this from like a marketing point of view. Like if the content dies, like no one's going to see it. Doesn't matter. You can just try again.
Exactly. It's like some of the, like those memes that you see, like one post, like somebody posts, like a random person who only has like, I don't know, 10 followers on Twitter, posts something, it immediately goes viral. It's like 2 pictures, no words, just 2 pictures.
It goes totally viral. And, you know, I think that's the thing I like about a lot of the new social media apps. Sorry, no, this is now just, in case your listeners didn't know, we're no longer talking about The Sims. We're now a social media podcast. We're talking about social media. But my favorite thing about apps like Twitch, TikTok, and Twitter, less so Twitch, but I think if we can make the switch as a culture from moving away from the importance of followers, like it doesn't matter how many followers you have. It truly really doesn't matter. If your content is resonant and your content is interesting, people will find it. And that is like, to me, like a huge godsend. Like I wouldn't have been able to build an audience on Twitch because like nobody, like I have a relatively small following. If you're looking in the scheme of Twitch overall, like honestly, like my following is small, but it doesn't mean it's not resonant, right? And it's the same, right? TikTok's the same. Like you can go from having like 30 followers, and if your content is resonant and fun and interesting, people will find it. Like Liana Banana is my favorite example. Do you follow her on Twitch or TikTok?
Oh, Twitch, I do. I just saw her on TikTok when you mentioned her on stream today. I'm like, oh,
dude,
because I've seen her on like my For You page. And like, who is this person? Okay,
she's amazing. So I followed her on on Twitch first. All last year, I've just been following her because she posts a lot of Stardew, and I love cozy games. And she started posting her content onto TikTok. And blew up last year, like in the last 8 months, just completely blew up on TikTok. And her audience on Twitch has ballooned because of it, because she was creating content that was funny and interesting. And it's been my favorite thing to watch, just watching her completely blow up. Everyone who's listening, please go follow Liana Banana. She's so funny. I love her.
I love her. I've been in her streams a few times. I've been lurking, but her energy is so nice. Yes! So welcoming. So
cozy. And she's really smart about taking those most memorable moments and syndicating it elsewhere. She's really good at doing that.
Yeah. Even post it on TikTok, post it on Instagram Reels. These things aren't even okay, YouTube Shorts. That's a new thing. Yeah. It's posted on there. That could go viral. There's just so many different things that could happen. I posted a YouTube short of an episode I did with Kayla, just to experiment to see what it was like. And then it just blew up. So I'm oh.
That's so cool.
I should do this more.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it was a little preview of the episode, but.
That's so smart. Yeah, just trying things out, it's so fun. Getting playful on these apps, I think is a huge thing. If you're afraid to play, then you're not going to know what could, kick it off or be something successful for you. It's fun.
Exactly. Yeah, it's fun. Honestly, impact over numbers. Go into the pain of how much impact can this tweet or this.
Yeah, and this is again, it's going to sound cliche, but as long as you're posting content that you yourself think is funny or that you'll laugh at or that you resonate with, not everything has to be funny, it doesn't, but if you're posting content you enjoy, that if it came across your feed, you would enjoy it, that's just a great North Star. Hey, do I like this? Would I like this content? If your answer is no, don't post it. If you're not interested in it, then nobody else will be.
Exactly. And that's what I tell people all the time. Make stuff that you enjoy, not what you expect people will enjoy.
And I think honestly, when people hear that, they brush it off because it sounds very kumbaya. Oh, follow your joy, follow your heart. That's not what that means. It means, would you like this if it came across your feed? Would you come into your own stream and watch yourself? If your answer is no, then why is anybody else going to watch you?
Yeah. So it's I don't know. I'm very honest on stream. You gotta do what you like, not what you think is popular or trending.
Yeah.
If you want to stream Sims because you like Sims, go for it. Don't go into the pain of oh, there's all these bunch of Sim streamers who's gonna raid me or who are it's a very popular gaming tag now somehow. They think that they're gonna be very get all these viewers. No, maybe. There's a slightly chance that there might be a chance someone could raid you or you might get these viewers because you're in a certain category. But think about why you're in that category, why you're streaming that game.
For sure. And I think it's also clear how transparent that kind of a strategy is, right? It's so transparent. And I'm not saying this as someone who is guilt-free of it too, right? I think everyone should try anything, right? If something's trending, you want to try it? Yeah, go give it a try. Try things on for size. But I'm guilty of those mistakes too. Making certain kind of content because I think it's going to be big, but then it's clear while I'm streaming that I'm not having any fun. And then the content doesn't do well. And so that's not to say don't experiment, don't try things that are trending because they're trending. Of course, try things out. But if that's all you're doing, then it's transparent. People get bored of it really fast. It's easy to see when you're not invested in your own content or your own game or what it is you're doing. And people are smart, audiences and viewers are smart and they don't want to stick around for something. If you're bored, then why should anybody else come and watch you?
Exactly. So very, 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 very true.
I'm getting very impassioned about this.
I love it. It's so good. So moving on from social media, so Charity, what decided you to because a lot of people go into this thinking, oh, I'm going to get all this recognition or whatever. Sometimes they do. But like, what made you decide to start raising money for charity? Like, especially like charities that you like believe in or you think that needs like some brand awareness on a larger platform or whatever.
Yeah, so I think I started doing charity streams relatively early, mainly because I guess in some way I've always been some kind of like keyboard social justice warrior, which I know is like a bad, what's the word? Like a flavor now. Like nobody likes to be branded a social justice warrior, but I've just always been interested in using these kinds of tools to do some sort of good, right? I think that's why I work in social. It's why I've made an entire career out of working in this platform, is because you can make a difference through these platforms. And Twitch makes it so easy for you to raise money for charity in a way that's fun, immediately actionable. And I think a lot of the reasons why people don't donate to charities is because you don't get that like instant gratification as a donator of seeing either what good you're doing, or just getting that like that dopamine kick, like when you like something on Instagram, right? That we were talking about earlier. When you're donating something to charity, you don't get that. But with Twitch, I'm able to facilitate that reaction by creating incentives, right? Like creating like fun, silly incentives where I like eat a hot sauce or do a silly dance or whatever. I'm able to give donators something fun to do. So like, why not put that to a good cause? You know, why not use the tooling to my advantage? And in terms of charities I care about supporting, I just always been looking for organizations that are personal to me. I know that's so so cliche and cringe, but like the first fundraiser I ever did was for breast cancer research, because my mother-in-law is a 2-time breast cancer survivor. Most recently, we were raising money for Stop AAP I Hate. I'm South Asian, and we know that there's been this huge rise of hate crimes in America over the last year with COVID. And why it's so immediate and it's so easy to raise money. Like ultimately it's like, why wouldn't you? You know?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? It's so easy. And, you know, even with Hope for Haiti, what we've been doing recently, which by the way, is such a privilege to be on the team with you. Thank you so much for asking me to fundraise.
You're welcome, honestly.
It's such a privilege. It's such a privilege to raise money for such a great cause. And Twitch makes it easy. So like, even though I only have a small platform, like why wouldn't I use it to make a very small but meaningful difference?
Exactly. Like use your platform for good and make a long-lasting impact, not just for you, but for the organization or the people who are associated with that, or they can relate to it somehow. Because honestly, charity is good. Helping people is good. Raising awareness for things that you believe in is good.
For sure. And, you know, luckily we've been given, for myself, a small platform, but using that as an opportunity to educate is such a gift, honestly. And like, I'm not trying to be all high and mighty here. Okay. I don't know. Sorry for the swear. I don't know shit about it. But the few times that I have been able to raise money, there's always been a moment where I'm talking about an issue. Like, for example, when I was raising money for Stop AAP I Hate, and I was explaining about the rise of hate crimes against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in this country, there were so many people that were like, wow, I didn't know that. And suddenly they become invested in a cause, you know, that is important. And that education makes a difference. And just that raising awareness, to your point, is so huge. And you just never know the impact you're going to make by just giving voice to a cause. So why wouldn't we do it?
Right. Like I usually always raise money for St. Jude, where I tell people that people, like parents who have kids in St. Jude, they don't have to pay a single cent for their kid being there at all.
You know,
like
see,
the whole
I didn't know
hospital
that.
pays for it.
I didn't know that.
The parents don't have to pay a single dime, because St. Jude raised so much money from like streaming investors and so many people around the world who continuously donate monthly or yearly or weekly or whatever. They have so much money that the parents don't have to have that burden of having a $10,000 bill because their kid was, you know, sick with cancer or something, because having the fact that your kid's in the hospital for something that they have no control over, and then also a bill that's too much going on. So they have to deal with one thing and taking care of their kid the best possible way that they can. And I don't know, St. Jude just is so good. And then like Hope for Haiti, like what that organization does, like they help people with like infrastructure and schooling and medical supplies and COVID testing and COVID vaccines eventually. And what resonated with me so much, like back in 2010, like when the earthquake happened, I was so like sad about it because people lost their homes, families, their lives. And it's good to know that there are good people out there that are helping Haiti. And I reached out to Hope for Haiti back in like September, like asking like, can we do like a back to school event? Because they weren't present on like Twitch or like Tiltify or anything. So I helped them gain their presence on something that they weren't familiar with because they're more like used to like the traditional fundraise, like in person and stuff like that. And like they just recently like did like a virtual hike for Haiti that we're doing right now. This is their third annual one, but like last year was like their first virtual one. And thus far, they've raised so much money. Their goal is $250,000. And what we've raised as a team together, like right now, as we're recording this, we have raised over $53,000.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know, almost $54,000. It's crazy.
That's
in like
crazy.
10 days. So it's very nice to know that we've done so much in so little time with making a huge lasting impact on people in Haiti and what we could do for them for something that we enjoy doing every day.
Yeah, and it just goes to show, well, first of all, good for you for making such a huge effort to raise money for this amazing cause and, you know, bringing so many of us together to do it. But it just goes to show, you know, how much difference you can make with just like a little bit of effort, you know, like how many people as a part of that $50,000 plus donation pool, how many of those people just donated $1? Like I venture to say a lot of people probably donated $1 or $2 or $3. And, you know, most of us could probably donate $1, but it's when you pool it all together as a collective, it makes such a difference. And if that can just inspire anyone that, you know, even if you think your footprint is small, your impact can be huge just by, you know, putting resources together. And you did that. You did that.
Honestly, like I went into this thinking that, you know, I want to reach out to my friends because people sometimes reach out to people based on their numbers. I don't do that. I go to asking like, hey, you want to collaborate with me on like a charity event and, you know, hang out and play games together. Like I never go into thinking, oh, they have like 1 million subscribers or, you know, 500,000 or whatever. Like, no, they're just people. Numbers don't define who they are. People chose to follow them because they like their content and their personality. And that's why I like the people that I reached out to people for this event based on their personality, what they're like. And, you know, I like what they're doing and they're great people like yourself. So, I mean, that's all that I did.
Shucks.
Because I'm like, I mean, it doesn't matter how many people raise money for the charity, whether they raise $1, awesome. You use your platform for good to raise awareness. You raised $1. That is cool. Like no amount is ever small.
No, yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, and it can surprise you, right? Like if you can galvanize behind a cause and again, coming back to social media strategy, have a clear call to action, which this is, you know, like raising money for Hope for Haiti is so clear what we're doing. I surprised myself by how much like our community was able to do. And I want to preface by saying, I think I have a relatively small footprint online. I don't think I have any huge community or, you know, I'm not like an influencer. I'm just like someone who loves to play The Sims and loves to do cool stuff.
I say you're an influencer.
Well,
you influence people.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Well, we'll leave that on the table for now. But all of this to say, like, I was so floored and overwhelmed by how much our community raised in one stream. Like my goal for the whole month was $2,000 for the month. And we raised that in a day. And I was like, that's insane. And it's just, it comes back to the idea of like your footprint has nothing to do with what an impact you can make. You know, you can still make an impact and every little helps, you know, every small step makes a difference, you know?
I agree 100%. That is very, very true. So do you have like any future charities that you want to do like next year, this year?
I have some stuff kicking around. I've always wanted to do something for Doctors Without Borders. I love the work that they do. I think that a global effort to support better public health care everywhere, especially with, you know, coming out of COVID is huge. So I would love to do something with Doctors Without Borders. I'm always supporting Black Lives Matter. I have a constant, that's just constant on my stream. I think every like 10 minutes links, my Black Lives Matter links come up because I'm never, ever going to stop supporting Black Lives Matter. But I want to do something big for Doctors Without Borders. And yeah, I'm still noodling. I think those are the two big ones for me right now.
Yeah. I do want to definitely do like St. Jude again in May. And then I don't know, so if something else comes up that I want to do, I'll do it.
And ping me too. You hit me up if you ever need someone else. If you're doing another team thing, you let me know.
I do have something in September. Gonna reach out to the group, see who's interested, get that ready. But that's like in September, so we got time.
You got time. You got time to figure it. Have a summer. Go on vacation. Yeah. Stephen, go on vacation.
I need a vacation.
Oh, I'm going on vacation end of April. Oh, I'm so excited. My dude. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm taking a week off. I'm going to South Carolina. It's going to be fun.
Ooh, yeah. That sounds fun.
I've never been to the South. I just want to go to the South.
It's fun down there. I've been there.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we have come towards the end of the podcast.
No, say it ain't so. I've been having so much fun.
I know, but I have some rapid fire questions for you to answer.
Oh, spicy. Hit me.
They might not be rapid fire because I'm an over-explainer and I just tend to just talk. But anyway, first one, what is your favorite game you've played thus far?
Well, can I answer a question with a question?
Yeah.
Is it outside of The Sims?
It can be.
Okay, so The Sims is obviously, The Sims is my number one game, ride or die, forever. I'm really loving Stardew Valley right now.
I love Stardew Valley so much.
I'm so bad at it, but I'm obsessed with Stardew Valley. Let's make this top three. The Sims is number one, Stardew Valley number two. My other favorite game to play off stream right now is honestly Fortnite. I'm loving Fortnite right now. It's so fun. I love playing with my friends. It's such a good time.
I have Fortnite, but I have not played it in so long. I have to update it.
Oh, we gotta play. We'll play together. It's so fun. We'll get some duos together.
Let me tell you, it's wild.
It's wild. And I'm terrible, by the way. I'm terrible at Fortnite, but I don't care. I love it so much. It's so fun.
Yeah, I stopped playing that game after I realized I spent over $300 in a couple months of that game.
Got it.
So, because I have Save the World, which is like a game that people can play and get V-Bucks and passes for having it. And then I bought a bunch of skins and more V-Bucks and battle passes. It just stacked up, but
Oh yeah, I mean, the way I spend money on Fortnite is shameful. It's shameful.
Yeah. I have a creator code, so people can use my creator code to support me.
What? I need to get one of those.
It's just springsims. Second one. What recommendations would you give to someone, like a book, podcast, TV show, etc.?
Okay. Podcast outside of your lovely podcast. Okay, this one is for 18 plus listeners only. But my favorite podcast in the whole world is called My Dad Wrote a Porno. It's basically these three hosts. They're like BBC radio personality hosts. They already had, a presence on media. But one of them, their real dad, started writing erotic fiction. And so every episode, they basically just read a chapter of his crappy erotic fiction. It's terrible. It's the worst. It's so bad. But that's why it's funny, because it's terrible. So that's my favorite podcast. But keep in mind, it's not safe for work. And it's solid. You have to be 18 plus to watch it. TV show, The Walking Dead, 100%. Book. I read Harry Potter on repeat all the time. And my other favorite book, the title just flew out of my mind. I'm trying to open up my Audible so that I can very quickly. It's definitely in my Audible library. It's called My Brilliant Friend. Have you ever read it?
I actually haven't. No. I need to get my Audible subscription renewed. Okay.
My Brilliant Friend is so good. It's part of a trilogy called the Napolitan Trilogy. And it's originally in Italian by an author called Elena Ferrante, I think is her name. And it's a trilogy about friendship in post-war Italy. And you will not be able to put it down. It's such a brilliant series.
Well, that sounds cool. I am down for that, definitely. Third question, when you're not working, how do you like to spend your time?
I work a lot. I work 7 days a week. So when I'm not working, you can probably find me curled up in my hoodie playing Stardew or having a bath. I love a bubble bath. I think I have a bubble bath probably like 4 times a week, or engaging in some skincare. I'm like an absolute sucker for skincare. I am that person with like a 10-step skincare routine. So you'll probably see me in the bath doing some skincare.
Nice. And the last question, what does success mean to you?
Oh, the last one's a loaded question.
I know.
What does success mean to me? Oh, I have to think on that one. Success to me is about being better every day than I was the day before. I try to finish every day, trying to assess every day, like, can I put my signature on this day and be proud of the work I've done? And that doesn't happen every day, right? Sometimes you can't put 100% into every day. Some days are a 60% day, right? That's just how we are. But I want my overall trend for my life, if I were to graph it, to say like, hey, I can say that I got better at something every day. There was some improvement every day. And I just believe that if you're just looking to improve yourself every single day, be a little bit better than you were before, whether it's like today I'm looking after my fitness, or today I'm honing my craft with streaming, today I'm being a better writer, or maybe it's today I learned a new foundation application technique that makes my foundation look nicer. It applies to everything, but as long as you're looking to improve every day, I don't think you'll ever not be successful. Period.
I like that. I really do. That's good. That was very deep. Very deep. Thank you again for being on my podcast. I really appreciate this talk, honestly. It's a breath of fresh air. It was so relaxing just to chill and just talk about literally anything.
Me too. It's been such a tonic just sitting on the phone with you, having a wee chin wag, just having a wee chit chat. This has been really fun. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So where can the listeners find you?
Listeners, hear ye. You can find me on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/Clare_WitchBaby. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter under the same handle, Clare_WitchBaby. And come hang out on my streams. I stream every Friday and Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday, Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you know, it's just our little witchy corner of the internet. We love to sprinkle a little bit of magic. So stop on by.
I like that. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So I hope you all enjoyed today's episode with Claire. I definitely sure did. It was very refreshing to know who she is as a person, but also who ClareWitchBaby is. And especially her time on Twitch, about her partner pushing, her ups and downs, the benefits of it, especially kind of learning by trial and error of what she's experienced from her very start, but also where she is at today. Being able to kind of relate on a topic of Sims, streaming, social media, mental health, PR, and charity fundraising, it's very reassuring to have that person that you can relate to and talk about these things, because sometimes you can't really talk about, stream for a living or social media and how I make my money on the internet to like regular people who do not know the internet industry or the gaming industry. But anyway, I hope you guys definitely learned a lot from the both of us, from Sims, Twitch, streaming, YouTube, PR, social media, how to get into the space, and especially charity fundraising. Like I said, I hope you guys definitely enjoyed, but make sure you go ahead and check her out. All of her links will be down below in the show notes, but make sure you go ahead and follow and subscribe to me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts, and I will hear from you all next week. Goodbye.